is we'll have the top tips after Mark has spoken to our number one contender. And for the people who have to get off at 12, then we respect that as well. But so we'll have those top tips after Mark's next session, after our number one contender. Mark, who's in at number one? Get in there.
Absolutely. At number one, we have with one of the biggest one of the biggest mistakes that people can make in our business, we see it all the time, is John Wilson. So yeah, he's come out of the green room. He's here with me. John is a group leader, as you've probably seen from the company's results, plus the company top performers and our team top performers. John is always in and around the top performers, both through recruiting and with his team. He's brilliant at coaching and mentoring people. John, how many holidays have you qualified for that you've not actually been on yet?
Mark, do you want to just get rid of the slide?
Sorry. So we've qualified for 4 holidays. That you haven't been on any of them yet because thanks to COVID. But it's been brilliant. But you're hugely successful in this business. You've got a fantastic growing team. You've got a great performing team. Yet it hasn't always been that way. And your biggest challenge. You've actually done other stuff. You've done other businesses while you've been involved. Mm-hmm. How's how did that mistake kind of happen? How did you find it? Why did you choose to do that?
Well, firstly, I only got the first memo, which the first memo was all coming to your house to have the Zoom party. I didn't actually get the second memo where we was all doing it just on Zoom. So I've turned up to Mark's house thinking we was all coming here together and was all going to be doing it together. So that's why I'm here. And we turned up in the same shirt, so I've had to get changed. So that would have just been looked a bit daft. And so firstly, I want to say well done to everybody so far today, because I've made all of them mistakes myself. But I believe they're not mistakes because we've all learned from them. And I'm a big believer of moving forwards, so failing forward. So as long as you failed, we're moving forwards, we're progressing and we're getting better and better. So none of you have actually made mistakes and none of you have actually failed because you're all here telling the story. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. And what I did was I wanted things quickly, to be honest. Got to group leader, and where we were in Hull, we weren't getting paid nowhere near enough as other group leaders, senior group leaders in the company. We was getting sometimes £2.50 for a sign up because they're all 1 service or 2 service customers, and it was very hard to think big picture at the time.
Okay, so you made a decision to start doing something else. Now I think we've been away on the Lions tour, haven't we, for a while. But you were doing something else. What was one of the reasons that you decided to do something else? So you said about the money, but what was the other reason, John, that you probably don't want to say on the screen?
Well, the first reason was because I looked at, obviously the money is the reason why a lot of people join businesses. And my background was fitness. I was a fitness manager, PT, etc. So I found something that I thought would fit really well in my everyday life. Yeah. So I joined another network marketing company. It was based in America. It was a health and wellness company. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I did really, really well in the first couple of months, made a lot of money, allowed me to go off to do the Lions trip, which we did. But one of the light bulbs moments were when we was out there, the company, we was there for 9 weeks, 8.5 weeks. It actually cost me 70 something pounds to still be a distributor for this other company. And UW still paid me a few £100. Now, I'm not saying it's thousands of pounds because I put the business down for quite a while I was running this other business.
Probably a couple of years?
Yeah, nearly 3 years, to be honest. Yeah. But UW still paid for my rent while I was off in Australia for over 2 months. So that was just a light bulb moment for me. One company's costing me money. The other company I haven't touched for 2 to 3 years is still paying my rent at home while I'm still traveling around, having a good time on the booze, weren't we?
Yeah. So you managed to change. You managed to do something different. Then have a different business. Look at doing things try and do things in a different way. But you talked then about what I want to know is what's one of the consequences of doing that? Because I think other people sometimes do lots of different things all of the time. And, you know, you're one of the top recruiters in the whole company now. What happened? What was one of the consequences of doing what you're doing before? And how did you then get to that point?
The hardest one was recruiting for either company.
Right.
To be honest, in UW, I found recruiting very, very hard. I would get the odd partner every couple of months. It used to always have a laugh with me because I would sign one and I'd maybe sign 3 in a go, and then I wouldn't sign anything for a few months. So I'd sign one, you say, right, where's the other 2 going to come from? And then I'll sit back and think, I've won the lottery because I've signed 2 or 3 partners. I don't need to do anything. So that was a bit of a challenge, was trying to pass your belief onto other people. So belief in yourself, but also the company. So if I'm saying this company is fantastic, it's going to change your life, it's going to do this for you, why am I doing something else if I can't afford to do whatever it is this way? So I think that was the biggest challenge, was finding the belief and showing people what we can physically do, because it is life changing. People test you. So when people say no, I mean, if anybody struggles through recruiting and bringing new partners in, it's because they're testing the waters first. So they're trying to see if you believe in yourself, but also believe in the company and the opportunity that you're showing them. And I think if you are tinkering on with other things, that belief isn't there, and they'll follow you and watch you over a period of time. It might even be a few years. I mean, I've got people in the business, it's taken me over 4 years for them to come on board, because they've followed my journey first. And if I'm jumping around doing loads of different things, they're not going to want to do exactly the same as me.
I think one of the challenges with that is your message isn't clear, is it? You know, where your focus is, that belief, that authenticity that you have when you speak to people now. You know this business can make a difference because of what it's been able to do for you once you started really focusing on it, and the momentum you've got and the difference it's making for your team. I think when you've got that mixed message, it's not clear, and people will not follow people who don't know where they're going. And you need to be clear about where you're at and where you're going, and people will follow what you want to do. And that message is something that you can put across and come across wholeheartedly and be really, 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 really clear on. And that is one of the difficulties I think that most people probably have. They're flitting in between, these different things, and then they're going to struggle to do either. One of the other things that you said to me was about why do people sometimes do lots of different businesses and lots of different things?
I think there's always going to be other shiny things, brand new things popping up all the time. And we're a bit like magpies, aren't we? We focus on the next shiny, exciting thing. We think that's going to change our lives by jumping from different things. But I found that the biggest and best thing for you to do is, if you're looking for something, you need to look at yourself first. Because rather than, I mean, I was annoyed with a company, if I'm honest, with the payment structure, and they changed a few things and threw my toys out the pram a little bit. Possibly that's probably why I started something else.
Never. You never threw your toys out the pram.
But when you looked at it, it was like, why don't wish for things to be easier? Wish that I was better. And that's the biggest thing I took from it. And I'm glad I did it, to be honest, because I wouldn't have got to where I'm at now. Because it made me realize what I actually do have. Like, trying something else was like, right, this is a serious business. I might not have the money that I need now, but other people that I know close and other people in the business are doing so well. And all it was just clear focus.
So you spent a lot of time, focusing on yourself, didn't you? You read a lot of books, lots of audio programs, doing seminars and events and things like that. You put yourself in a focus of, like you said, developing you. Because I think when you see people and they go, right, I'm going to try this business over here, and I'm going to go try this business over here, and I'm going to try this business over here. If you keep getting the same results in all the different businesses, which is not successful, it isn't the businesses, it's the common denominator amongst all of those experiences. And unfortunately, in most cases, that's us. So if we're not getting the results, it's because of, as you said, it's where we are, and we've got to focus on developing ourselves. I mean, we've had loads of recommendations of top books, things, audio programs to study or to get hold of. And that needs to be a number one priority for anyone that wants to be successful in anything that they are doing. You know, some of the podcasts that we mentioned, we keep mentioning this high performance podcast, but there's a guy on there, you know, 28 years old. He's worth about £700 million through a clothing brand that a gym clothing brand, by setting up a passion, focusing on something. But the reason he's as successful as he is, that he puts it down to his constant need for self-improvement. He is always focusing on developing. How can he get better? If he doesn't know how to do it, how can he mix with the people that can help that happen? And that's something that you, over the years, have just got better. I mean, you never used to attend events, you know, like you just like a nightmare at the beginning. And all of a sudden, that thing changed, and you went, I'm going to focus on developing me. You were at everything. You read everything. You studied.
And I think it's realizing that yourself as well. So like we were saying about mistakes, it's not a mistake if you're realizing it and you're learning from it. And it's drawing that line in the sand and then going, right, other people have been successful.
Yeah.
And find the people that you want to be like, the association.
Yeah. Such
as yourself, Chris Williams, Jimmy, etc., and study you guys as how have you got there? Why have you got there? How have you done it? And taken bits of all you guys and put it into what I can do and be the best version of me. So I'm not trying to become them or them, but take the best things from it to be the best version I can be, and really study. And they've walked where you've walked, so learn from their mistakes, just like we're doing today, is learning from all of our mistakes. It's just follow that journey, and just it's all mindset. It's have a clear structure of where you want to be and develop yourself. And I wanted to be a better leader, so it was like studying better leaders. I just mentioned the names there, and then studying the certain books. Was John Addison's had a big impact on me. So Real Leadership, that's massively helped. Anything from John C. Maxwell, that's been phenomenal as well. And just really plugging into the system, because self-development for me was wishy-washy. And to be honest, it was a bit of a laugh. It wasn't something I would have got involved with, coming from fitness and a rugby background. People used to just make fun of it, really, wasn't it? And it was like, again, make that decision. This is what I'm going to do, and I want to be a better person, and just study and be the best version you can be, which means your business is going to be the best your business can be.
Awesome. John, thank you very much.
And that is such a great message. Mark and I talked about this, and you know, what is the number one thing that we all need to do, and sort of what's in our control. And we agreed what it's, you know, Pete Dunhill's just put in the chat, you know, look at what you can do yourself first, look inside as opposed to always outside. You know, the minute we start blaming others, we lose control. So we thought this is a real important message. And, you know, we were saying this personal development, self-development, it's not pushed as much, is it, Mark, as it used to be? And I think it's absolutely key. And if you think, you know, we talk about live, love, laugh and learn, it's that learning. And hopefully you've all learned something today. So John, and thank you for being candid, because not everybody would talk about the fact that they looked at something else. But I think it's important. That's your authenticity, and you are building an amazing business and a great culture. And at least you've been there and you've got the T-shirt. Show us the T-shirt. That's your T-shirt. Go on, show us the T-shirt. Hey? Now, you wouldn't have been doing that. You wouldn't have been wearing that T-shirt, and you wouldn't have got your team into that lovely culture that you've got if you hadn't been through those experiences. So like you say, it's been a journey, and hats off to you, and thank you for sharing that. So Karen was going to just, so if anybody's got to jump off the call, we understand we're running over. Karen was just going to run over those action points. We've had great feedback. I know Mark will say it as well. We want to thank everybody who's been on the call. You know, without exception, we've had amazing feedback. If you want to save the chat so you can read what people have said about you as speakers, there's 3 little dots on the bottom right of the screen on a PC where you can do that. We have recorded the call, so we will be supplying that to everybody. And Karen, what are the top tips? What are some of the action points people have said they're going to do?
Right, cool. So number 1 is plan for the day. Join the Power Hour. Number 2, Giant's website. Some great resources on there. If you haven't already checked it out, please do. Number 3, a lot of people have struggled from working from home during lockdown. So now we're able to go out there. Why not choose a coffee shop or community centre where you can make your calls, block that time out, and it's a great way to meet other people. We've had some fantastic books recommended, Eat That Frog, The Consistency Chain, Go For Now, and The One Thing. Focus on team building if you're really serious about your long-term residual income. Stop procrastinating, set some short-term goals and be consistent. Learn from mistakes, absolutely key. And yeah, just some lovely priceless advice that have been shared by our speakers today. Focus on those small wins. And if you feel that you've lost touch with your business, then, you know, top tip from Sue Roberts, go back to basics, go back on training. And I think I just want to thank all of the speakers. For me, they've been just honest, authentic and genuine, and shared some really priceless advice. So thank you all for being part of today's event.
Brilliant. Mark?
Excellent stuff. Well, for me, just one last thing I think I wanted to say, which was save the date. We've got MAD coming up. Get yourselves your tickets booked, or at least, well, they're not available to book yet. So get it in the diary. Whatever you need to do. If you're doing hotels, do the hotels, all that sort of stuff. Fingers crossed we're going to be completely and utterly out of any COVID restrictions. It will be the first normal, real event in over 18 months. So what a great way for us all to connect, get together and meet. Big thank you to all of our speakers for being open and honest about the challenges and the difficulties that actually happen in this business. I think that we all go through this, but we pretend, you know, we get told that you don't ever talk about negative things, you only ever talk about positive stuff. But understanding that other people go through challenges, and everyone that's successful has already been through all of those things that we're going through, is about being honest. It is about being positive. That is not a negative thing, you know, understanding where you're at and where you're going. So I've just been really impressed, and I can't believe we've run over time, and I can't believe it's over already. It feels like we only started about 20 minutes ago.
And just one thing, I don't know if Mark and Jill can organise this. We said we'd stay for some questions, so anybody's got to shoot off. But Mark and Jill, there was a request in there to show your diary. So I don't know if that's possible. You can hold it up to the screen and spotlight your screen. If it is, great. If it's not, that's fine. But yeah, we'll hang around to...
I'll share that now, Chris.
Can you share that? That'd be brilliant. And yeah, if anybody wants to have a little chat, or if you want to put some questions in there, I'll stay around for a bit. I don't know how everybody else is placed, but the rest of you have an amazing rest of the day, and thank you for being here as well.
So I'll just share the screen now for you. This is an example of our calendar. We've color-coded lots of different calendars, and it looks chaotic, but that's because there's 2 of us in there. So we've got personal time blocked out. We've got the power hours blocked out. We've got today blocked out. We've got specific calls that we want to take, all blocked out, so we can see exactly what we're doing every day. Next week, nothing. We're going on holiday. Fantastic. But it's in the diary. And so you've got to block time out for yourself first, then add the other stuff in.
Brilliant.
One of the important things about time blocking.
Break there, Mark.
Yeah, we have lunch breaking as well.
Yeah, otherwise we don't eat, Chris.
Hold on, Chris, there's another one you've missed. You'll see here, M&G, the food that we're going to prepare that night. We've got written in what food we're going to have, when we're going to prepare it. Otherwise we forget. We get too tied up with stuff.
So it's not just business stuff, you're putting the personal stuff in. That's awesome.
Everything.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm glad you haven't got too much personal stuff in there. You know what you're doing.
Never diarise that. Spontaneity matters.
Or rate it on a scale. Oh, I did like that. That's good.
Chris, move on, Chris.
We'll move that on. We'll move that quickly on. So anyway, yeah. So if anybody wants to chat, we're staying on, and the rest of you, thank you again. And Mark, thank you for putting all the slides together, and really appreciate that and getting this organised. And Karen, thank you for your summary. That was awesome, and a great intro as well, I think, on the philosophy.
Brilliant. Well done, everyone. So if anyone's got any questions, throw them in the chat. Let's get some things out. Throw them in the chat or come on and just ask. You don't have to, if you're happy to talk, just come on and talk.
And if we go, I'm going to put my gallery view on so I can see anybody, and we'll see. Have we got any mood music for the background, Mark? Like mood, like low key, low.
Hang on. Let's see what I can sort.
Can I ask where the event's going to be?
Yeah, you mean the one in September, MAD?
Yeah.
Massive Action Day. Yeah, it's going to be at the Cheltenham Racecourse.
Oh.
Yeah, because I just want to book an hotel, you see, because Darren, my husband, he's never been to any of the major events. Because we were due to go to the one, we ended up at Chris's, which was lovely. But yeah, it got cancelled because it was the start of COVID when he was going to go to his first one. So I want to get it booked.
Brilliant. Yeah,
excellent.
Great. Can I just give a little shout out? Nick Mucklow's on the call. He's a driving instructor, and he's the other fabulous thing about our network. Nick sort of got back stuck in to the business after having a little break like Sue. However, Karen's mum, who's she is 80, isn't she?
80, yeah.
80, was losing her confidence about driving, and so who do you call? You call Nick, and Nick's done a driving lesson with Irene, who is a super mum. And Nick, thank you. She's got her confidence back, and she's right now racing a Corvette down the M1, all thanks to Nick. So it's great.
Yeah, well done,
In a
Nick.
network like that. Thank you, Nick.
Brilliant.
Have we got any? So we got some podcasts. Don't forget the Live Love Laugh podcast as well. I've got a podcast coming up. I haven't put it on yet. I've interviewed Steph Longworth, and I've got his mistakes that he's made. If you don't know who Steph Longworth is, he's national group leader, going on national network leader, and we had a lot of fun doing that one. I purposely have not posted it up until we've done this event. So next week I will put that out there, and you can hear from Steph Longworth. But a lot of the mistakes he's made are exactly the same as we've just talked about today. In fact, they all are, I think. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Brilliant.
So one thing that we're going to do, actually, this will help, might help some of you. Events are always one of those things where the people that really, really need it aren't on it. Has anyone else ever noticed that? You've got who thinks you've got people in your team that really should have been on today because it would have helped them massively. It's always the same. So here's what we're going to do. We recorded all of those, this whole thing. And we're going to break them up, and over the course of the next 10 weeks, which leads us right up to MAD, we are going to share what we're going to release one of those every week on a countdown from 10 to 1. What it's going to allow you to do is it's going to be just on Vimeo, and you can just share that out and just get it to the people that need to see it. Now, I wouldn't suggest just like mass mailing it or anything like that. It needs to be a personal phone call and just tell them, look, I've got something here. I think it might really benefit you. Just take a look at it. It's less than 10 minutes. And it just talks about a particular mistake that somebody's made, and it just might resonate with you. I think it might really, really help. Great. So would that be useful for people?
Absolutely. You're organising that, Mark, aren't you?
I'm going to organise all that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's another bit of black magic, isn't it? How you can take this Zoom call, put it on Vimeo, divide it up into 10.
Well, to be fair, Mark Hardy's doing that bit.
I'm just going
to put it on Vimeo.
Does Mark Hardy know that?
He does now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mark's
going on holiday?
Never too busy to sort that out.
Oh, well done, Mark. Thank you.
That is really, really good. Sharon's saying she loved the event and she can't wait for the one in September. Yeah, that's brilliant. And again, I'll just emphasise this leadership event on Wednesday in Birmingham. It's COVID safe. The venue holds, I think, typically 1,200 people, but 300 will be turning up. It means, I think if you work that out, everybody's got at least 3 to 4 square meters of their own space. They're doing a lovely thing, and I thought this was really nice. As you go into the event, there's 3 wristbands available. There's a red wristband, which means you put that on if you don't want people to come close and you're not that comfortable. There's a yellow wristband if you're happy to have a conversation but keep your distance, and a green wristband where you're going to let it all hang out and you're okay with everything. And I think that's a lovely approach. So if people are undecided about attending a live event, which absolutely the company understands, we understand, they are doing it in a very, very safe and well managed way as well. So
can you give wristbands out to people that you don't want to, the particular people that you don't want to come close to you? So I could say, Chris, here's a red one. You're not allowed near me. Is that exactly that way as well?
What you could do is have a red one on the one wrist, and you could be going like that, couldn't you?
That's a genius idea.
That's a good idea. In fact, we could just adopt that generally, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
You know, keep those people away.
Yeah. We could do with it in life, couldn't we? Sorry, this means you're miserable, go away.
Yeah. Well,
You do
somebody
a lot
once
of
said,
presentations.
yeah, somebody once said if everybody who was interested in an opportunity walked around with a balloon selling you, do you know what I mean? So maybe we could try and introduce that. You know, if you want to be introduced to a fabulous opportunity, wear this green wristband, and if you're not interested, you could wear the red. Do you think that would work?
Probably not.
Probably
clash with people's clothes.
So you probably just got to ask then.
Probably just got to ask.
Tell them about it.
Right, we're now babbling to fill time, Chris, because no one's asking questions.
We're going to go
noticed?
now. So thank you so much, everybody, and see you on the other side. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.